Brad, excuse me, I can't speak this morning. The mic is yours.
Well, that's
Hey, Brad, if I could just jump in and say, I didn't know that this was the age of wisdom, and the compass represented that because, you look around, there's a lot of people with busted compasses. Back to you, Brad.
that was a perfect setup for the thought I had, Michelle, when you were just talking about who influences, who do you not want to influence. So here's like selecting the five. What I jotted down is, for me, it's looking for the influencers that align with the direction that I'm going. And I know I've said this in the room before. It it more looks like at this point in my life that my influencers have left a fingerprint on me along the way. So it's not so much that they're influencing everything in their entire vision, but I'm grabbing those pieces that line up with the path that I'm on. And I mean, you talk about influence, somebody I've never met, even from this room. It's the one day when Garth said, who are you trying to be like? You are the next amazing thing, and I use those high marks, high levels of success. Like, you want to be the Tony Robbins, or what if you are the next whatever is next above Tony Robbins? And that's kind of what I go with, to the next, because I think there's another part of this conversation, and you started to allude to it in something you said, Michelle, and it's, who do you not want to follow and be an influence to you? It doesn't mean that they're not going to influence somebody's life. It just means that they don't align with where I'm headed. So there are a lot of people I learn and I'm influenced by them by what I don't want to do. And again, it doesn't take anything away from their influence on somebody that they speak to that gets them unlocked. So I got to add one more step to Yaliza's three steps. And the fourth step I would add is, the way you get in proximity, that proximity is power, is investing in their program. And that was a little secret, a little hack that I figured out. And I learned this from James Malinchak. I had him as a marketing coach for a period of time. He was on Secret Millionaire. And he was telling me about the story where he literally donated a ton of money to be on an airplane with Gene Simmons, because he knew that Gene was a marketing guy and he wanted to be in that close proximity. So he invested in his whatever it was. I don't remember if it was a charity or whatever, but he won this plane ride. And I do a lot of my influence that way. So, and then I'll add one bonus one so I don't take up too much time, because I know we got great conversations going here. But it's going to a mastery level of influence. And Michelle, you said it, I ask my influencers who their influencers are. And then I look for ways to get into close proximity of those people as well. So that would be my share for this morning. This has been an awesome conversation. I had no idea where it's going to start. If we were just going to start naming names, and I was going to be writing all these names down. Oh, but what this did is this created a rabbit hole of intriguing conversation, because I Googled this influence thing. Did you know there's a page after page of how to find the influencers to promote your product? And I know Tony's going to grab onto this one and go crazy. And it's like, what are you looking for, an influencer to use them for something? Or are you looking for an influencer to become the next big thing? And how are they leaving their fingerprint on you? So that's what I'll leave you with today.
Yeah.
Oh, you know
Tony,
what?
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. So, first of all, let's just kind of clarify something. Today's influencers are bullshit for the most part. These social media influencers, if the internet was to shut down right now, they wouldn't influence the person next door, right? Just because they have a bunch of likes and everything else. Yeah, there's influence, but that's fake influence. The real influencers are the leaders, are the teachers, are the people that have paved the way. Not the Kim Kardashians, not all that nonsense and BS influencers, right? Just because they have a million followers here or there. It's the people that have made a difference, that have made an imprint, the people that are actually doing the doing, right? So I think it's important to recognize that. And I just want to say this, Coach Corn, and you were so right. Oftentimes people what you said about, investing in their product. Buy their book, right? If somebody says to you, hey, Brad, can I pick your brain? And that really, you probably say yes, because that's the kind of guy you are. Yet, I have a friend of mine, Amelia, says all the time, listen, if somebody wants to pick my brain, first I check, have they bought my book? Are they signed into my product? And if not, why am I going to let them take time from me if they've not invested in themselves enough to invest in the person that they're interested in? Why would I take that much more time to do that? Now, obviously, I'm not going to say that that's the way it should be with everyone, because listen, people say, can I pick your brain all the time? And I let them, which, by the way, stop using the phrase pick your brain. That sounds painful. Just maybe say, hey, listen, I'd love to have a chat, about business or whatever, but stop saying pick your brain. And just think about that. Would you like anyone picking your brain? Probably not. But yeah, so that's what I just wanted to say. Make sure, Dr. Laura, I don't really want anybody picking my nose either. That's pretty good. You are quick. You are quick with those gifts. So I'll just leave it at this and say, it is, think about that. And I love, like Coach Korn says all the time, how he reached out to oh God, sorry, bad with names, but what I'm talking about. Coach, help me. You reached out to the
Gerber, Michael Gerber. Googled the number and just called out your. Yeah.
Right, you reached out to him, but you also read his book. If you reached out to him, you didn't know anything about his book, do you think he would have emailed you or called you back? The answer is no. So invest in those that you want to learn from as well. Not necessarily because they want or need the money, but so that they know that you're really, truly committed and interested in what it is that they're going to say and share with you. Otherwise, you guys have heard me say this before, otherwise you're just another asshole. That's right. It sounds like something that we're familiar with, but it's really not. It's an asshole. Somebody that asks for advice all the time and then never takes it, right? And the person that's giving you the advice, again, if somebody's going to ask you, Brad, if they can pick your brain and have 10, 15 minutes of your time, you're the kind of guy that gives it to it. But what if then they just squander it? They do nothing with it. Then it was a waste, right? You could have helped somebody else with that time. So just something really important to remember. You want to connect with somebody, buy their book. Even if you just read the first chapter and say, man, I love what was in that chapter. I didn't get to read the rest, or you don't even have to say that you read the rest, but you have to be interested in them, right? I think it's David Meltzer that says, be more interested than interesting. Be more interested than interesting, and then life kind of changes with that. So thanks, Brad, for that.
I knew I was going to get you that second win, that little amp up of adrenaline.
Hey, I wanted to bring something up too, just along those lines. I think it's also who we're